welcome to today's Tennessee at-home learning series for math. Today is for all our fourth graders out there, even though anyone is welcome to tune in. My name is Miss Pereira, and I'm a fourth grade teacher at Venus Stewart Elementary in Gallatin, Tennessee. Welcome to my virtual classroom. If you didn't tune in to any of our other lessons, you're welcome to join us today, but we do encourage you to go online to www.tennessee.gov/education to find our previous lessons, since we will be building on prior knowledge. Today we'll be learning about division and the distributive property. Before we get started, so that you can participate fully, you're going to need some materials: a pencil, a piece of paper, and a nice space to complete your work. Okay, let's begin. Today we're going to solve problems using division. Let's start by looking at this situation. For a fundraiser, the fourth grade class sells $480 worth of gift wrap. If each roll of gift wrap cost $8, how many rolls did the fourth grade class sell? So, what do we know? We know that they sold $480 worth of gift wrap, and we know that each roll cost $8. So, what are we trying to figure out? Well, we're trying to figure out how many rolls did they sell. How can we figure this out? What strategy or operation could we use to solve this problem? Division. Good job. We know the total amount of money that was raised, and we need to split it into equal groups because each roll of gift wrap costs the same amount. How much did each roll cost? $8. Very good. So we need to divide 480 by 8, and that will tell us how many rolls they sold altogether. So we're thinking about how many times does 8 go into 480? One way to do this is to think about place value in our basic division facts. So we can use place value to rewrite 480 as 48 tens. And we know that 48 tens divided by 8, we can use our basic fact of 48 divided by 8. 48 divided by 8 is 6, and then we can't forget our unit, so it's 6 tens. So we can see that 480 divided by 8, 6 tens has a value of 60, is 60. So how many rolls of gift wrap were they able to sell? Correct. They sold 60 rolls at $8 a piece, so they were able to sell $480 worth of gift wrap. Excellent job. For the next division problems, we're going to work with numbers that are not multiples of 10. In the problem we just solved, we were able to use place value and basic division facts because the dividend was a multiple of 10. What if the dividend is not a multiple of 10? We're going to try a different strategy. Let's look at 68 divided by 4. As you can see, our dividend is 68, which is not a multiple of 10. For this strategy, we're going to use drawings of base 10 blocks to represent numbers. Let's practice how to draw base 10 blocks. Draw them with me. We're just going to simply use a dot to represent our ones unit, a rod to represent our tens, and a flat to represent our hundreds. So let's draw the number 68 with base 10 blocks. We know that 68 has 6 tens, so we need 6 rods. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it has 8 ones, so we need 8 ones units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have represented 68 with our base 10 block drawings. And we're trying to find 68 divided by 4, or 68 split into 4 equal groups. So first, let's think about how to share the 10s equally among 4 groups. So let's draw 4 big circles to represent our 4 groups. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. And we can go ahead and put 1 10 rod in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just used 4 of our 10 rods up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We just divided those up. So what should we do with these other 2 10 rods that we have here? Because we don't have enough to go back and give each group another 10 rod. Yeah, I'm hearing some really good ideas. So we discussed earlier that the 10 rod represents 10 ones. So we can regroup those 2 10s as 21s. So let's cross out these other 2 10 rods and let's draw them as 21s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 28 ones that we need to split up evenly among these 4 groups. So the 20 that we just regrouped, we know that 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we know that there'll be 5 ones in each group. So to share this amount equally among 4 groups, each group would get 1 10, and we can go ahead and put our 5 ones in there. So we just got rid of those 5 ones. We just got rid of those 5 ones. We just got rid of those. And we just got rid of those. So we just split 21s up among 4 groups. But we've still got these 8 ones that need to be split among the 4 groups as well. And we know that 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we can just go back through and give each group another 2. And we've used up all of our 68. And we can see 68 divided into 4 groups. How many does each group get? Each group got 1 10 and 7 ones, which is the same as saying each group got 17. Very good. So let's revisit our original equation, 68 divided by 4 equals 17. We used base 10 blocks to split 68 into 4 equal groups, and we found that 68 divided by 4 is equal to 17. Let's explore what this problem would look like using number sentences and the distributive property. You might remember the distributive property from multiplication. The distributive property says that you can break the dividend into 2 numbers and then divide each number by the divisor to get 2 quotients. Their sum is the same quotient as the quotient of the original problem. So our division problem is 68 divided by 4. And when we use the base 10 blocks, we used place value to break the dividend 68 into 10s and 1s. The number 68 has 6 10s and 8 1s. We could write that as 60 plus 8. Then we modeled dividing each of these numbers by the divisor 4. So we did 60 divided by 4, and we did 8 divided by 4. With our base 10 blocks, we found that 60 divided by 4 was 15, and we found that 8 divided by 4 was 2, And 15 plus 2 is 17. So by adding the two quotients together, we get the quotient of our original problem. 68 divided by 4 is 17. For this strategy, we use place value to break 68 into tens and ones. We know that 60 divided by 4 was 15 from our previous problem that we did with drawing our base 10 blocks. This might not be a division fact that you just know. So could we break 68 into two different parts? That would be facts that I know in my mind. I'm hearing some great ideas of another way that we could divide 68 divided by 4. We could break apart our 68 differently. We could break it apart into 48 and 20. So why do we choose to break it apart into 48 and 20? Very good, because those numbers are both easily divisible by 4, facts that I have memorized. So now I'm going to rewrite my problem using the distributive property. This time we're going to do 48 divided by 4, find that quotient, and then we're going to add it to the quotient of 20 divided by 4. So 48 divided by 4 is 12, excellent. And 20 divided by 4 is 5, very good. And when we add our two partial quotients together, we get the quotient to our original problem as 17. For this strategy, we used place value to break 68 into tens and ones. I'm sorry, we didn't break them into tens and ones. We broke 68 into some known facts, 48 divided by 4 and 20 divided by 4. So that we get the same solution that we found by using the base 10 blocks and breaking apart 68 by tens and ones. So to make a division problem easier to solve, you can break apart the dividend into two numbers. It's helpful to pick two numbers that make basic facts you already know to divide by the divisor. Okay, let's try another problem with a larger dividend. Write this on your paper with me. 147 divided by 7. Let's use the strategy that we were just working on with breaking apart our dividend into two numbers that make it easier to divide, that distributive property. So what are some of your ideas for breaking apart 147? What are two numbers we could break this dividend into that would be easily divided by 7? I notice that there's a 7 in the ones place, and I know that 7 divided by 7 is 1. So I know I could pull out that 7, and that would leave me with 140. I know that 14 is divisible by 7, and 140 is just 14 tenths. So I think those two numbers will be easily divided by 7. So let's rewrite our problem using the distributive property. 140 divided by 7 plus 7 divided by 7. We know that 140 divided by 7 is the same as 14 tens divided by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 14 tens divided by 7 is 2 tens, which is the same as 20. And then 7 divided by 7 is just 1. We have to take our partial quotients and put them back together. 20 plus 1 is 21, and that gives us our quotient or our solution to our original problem. So how can you use the distributive property to find quotients? I'm hearing some great explanations. To review, we can break apart the dividend into two smaller add-ins, and each part can be divided by the divisor. We can then solve the two smaller division problems and add the quotients together. Thank you for thinking through these divisions using the distributive property with me. Now, let's practice some together. So get your paper and pencil ready. Work through this next problem with me as I think aloud. Let's try 78 divided by 6. Let's draw base 10 blocks to help us divide. Let's draw the number 78 with base 10 blocks. We know that 78 is made up of 7 tens and 8 ones. Now let's think about how to break apart the 78. I could take 6 of these 10 rods and put 1 into each of the 6 groups. I know I've got 6 groups because I'm dividing by 6. But I still have another 10 that's not in a group. That means we need to take the 10 rod and redraw it as 10 ones so that we can split it up among the 6 groups. So let's redraw that now. So we're going to make it look just a little bit different. We're going to pull out those 6 tens. And then we're going to take that 7th 10 rod and we're going to break it up into 10 ones. And then I can't forget about the ones that I already had up here. We already had 8 ones. So we just represented 78 as 6 tens and 18 ones. So we're trying to share 78 equally among 6 groups. So let's draw circles to show the tens in 6 equal groups and the ones in 6 equal groups. So if I'm just looking at my tens and I want to put them in 6 groups, I know that I can put 1 10 in each group. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups with 10 in each group. And if I'm going to look at my ones and split my ones into 6 equal groups, I know that I have 18 ones, and I know that 18 divided by 6 is 3. So I can put 3 ones in each group. This drawing shows the use of the distributive property. So let's write out our work numerically. So what we did was we took the 78 divided by 6, and we split the 78 into 60 and 18. Here's our 60, here's our 18. Then we can rewrite our problem using the distributive property. We did 60 divided by 6, and we did 18 divided by 6. As you can see in our drawing, 60 divided into 6 groups is 10 because we put 10 in each group. And here, 18 divided by 6 is 3. You can see we've got 3 in each group. And then if we add those together, we get 13. So we can tell in our original problem, we know that 78 divided by 6 is 13. So look back at the drawing and notice how we split the number 78 into 6 groups. Each group has 1 10 and 3 ones, or 13, which is the solution to our division problem. Now, you try this one with me. 225 divided by 5. How can we break apart 225 to make it easier to divide by 5? I'm hearing a lot of great ideas. Let's break apart 225 into 200 and 25. Follow along with me as I write and solve the problem numerically. Using parentheses, we can rewrite our original equation with our two easier facts. So 200 divided by 5 plus 25 divided by 5. So using what we know about place value and basic division facts, we know that 200 divided by 5 is 40 because we know 20 divided by 5 is 4, 200 divided by 5 is 40. And then we've got a really basic fact here, 25 divided by 5 is just 5. And then when we add those together, we know 40 plus 5 is 45. Excellent. So the answer to our original equation, 225 divided by 5 is equal to 45. Very good. Okay, this last one I want you to try it on your own, and then we'll check it together. So write at the top of your paper, 208 divided by 4. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half to try this one on your own, and then we'll check it together. Great job. Did you break apart 208? Here's one way you could have broken it apart. You could have broken it apart into 208, and that would give us a new problem of 200 divided by 4 plus 8 divided by 4. 200 divided by 4 is 50, plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. 50 plus 2 is 52. So we know that the quotient or the solution to our original equation is 52. Great job. Thank you for having me in your home today and working so hard with me. Here's some independent practice that you can do on your own. You can get from the screen, or you can go online to www.tennessee.gov/education, and you can find a printable version there. I look forward to our next lesson together. Keep up the great work.